Happy holidays, everyone. Follow, like, subscribe. Let's get this shit show going.
Prime target.
Disconnect between the head coach and the GM.
Because
and
nobody
when you
sees
have
Howie's vision.
no, Howie's a freaking moron, and there's a reason why.
Howie, you got a moron.
Are you gonna let me freaking talk? God damn, bro!
Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the AT Sports Network. We are your hosts, Eagle Jeff Warner, alongside Peanut. We hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving as we get ready for the holiday season. So I hope everyone had fun with their friends, family, and football and food. Have a good old time. I know I did, Peanut. I don't know how your Thanksgiving was.
It went well. It went well. Lots of turkey, lots of gravy. Lots of mashed potatoes.
And lots of extra weight put on by all of us. But look, I'll say we have a great show on tap for you today. Look, we'll be talking about the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles as they beat the Green Bay Packers 40-33. It wasn't pretty, but we'll dive into that just momentarily. Plus, we'll dissect and break down and give you our thoughts on this Sunday's huge matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Titans as the Eagles continue to try to keep the lead in the NFC race. Not just the NFC East race, but the conference race as well.
Yeah.
We'll give you our game predictions and much more. But first, let's pay the bills real quick here on the show. I'd like to thank our friends and sponsors at Doan Distillery in Quakertown. They are located at the Trolley Barn Public Market in Quakertown. Wrong one. There it is. Visit their website at doandistillery.com to see their list of their delicious drinks and spirits. They also have happy hour every Thursday from 3:30 to 6:30. So make sure to check them out as they have great specials just for you. So again, Doan Distillery in Quakertown. I'd like to thank our friends at Stuff to the Grills in Allentown. They're located off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. You can order by calling 484-274-6760 or visit stufftothegrills.com for their full menu and specials. They are also available for catering orders as well. So if you have a work event, I know holiday parties are coming up, birthday parties, whatever you may need, you can head out Stuff to the Grills in Allentown. I'd like to also thank our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant in Allentown, also located off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. Order takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or vinnyspizzapa.com. Make sure to check out their website for their daily and game day specials as well. And they're also available for catering orders. So I would say if you're interested in some pizzas, some lasagna, some of that delicious Italian food, they're the guys to go to. Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant in Allentown. I'd like to also thank our friends at Statement Games for a fun, free twist on fantasy sports. Visit them at statementgames.com. It's free to play, free to enter. You have a chance to win some great prizes and much more. So, again, statementgames.com. I'd like to also make an announcement since we were on our sponsor little tag here. We will be at Doan Distillery, so save the date, Sunday, December 11th. We will be doing our AATBirds, Birds, Beers, and BS pregame show live from Doan Distillery again in Quakertown. 12 o'clock start. Game kicks off at 1 as we break down and dissect the big Eagles-Giants NFC East matchup, a huge pivotal game for both teams.
Yeah.
So make sure to come out and support the AT Sports Network crew there at Doan Distillery. We'll have great specials. We'll have some giveaways. So, again, December 11th, save the date, circle on your calendar. It's a week from this Sunday. Eagles-Giants pregame show at Doan Distillery.
A lot of Lehigh Valley Giants fans too, right?
Yeah.
Phonies, fakes.
Well,
imposters.
The problem is we live way too close to freaking New York. But look, Peanut, let's dive right down into it. Look, it was a big win. Wasn't pretty, but the Eagles do prevail over the Green Bay Packers 40-33. There's a few positives to talk about and a few negatives to talk about. So, look, I'll let you go first. Give us your thoughts on what you thought about Sunday's game.
Sunday's game, they never make it easy, man. It's always one of those games where you watch and you think you're seeing greatness, and then the defense kind of slivers out of the game a little bit. Way too close for my better judgment, but what I seen a lot of positives and I seen a lot of negatives. I seen a quarterback that's willing to take the ball into his own hands, but I also seen a quarterback that took the ball into his own hands way too frequently. All in all, honestly, what I seen from that game is I'm starting to feel like we play to the ability of who we're playing. So if we're playing a good team like Green Bay, we'll play to that ability. We can go score for score, and honestly, the defense scares the hell out of me, man. I know it's cliche, and I'm sure everyone this whole week has been talking about it, but what I've seen is like this defense is non-consistent and non-shutdownable, if that's a word, non-shutdownable. It scares me a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I kind of feel, look, we're 10-1, and no one's saying the sky is falling, but honestly, we cannot be too excited about this Philadelphia Eagles team at this moment.
Whoa, hold on. Last time we did a show, I know it's been a while, guys.
It's been a couple weeks.
Watch the last show, because the last show you were gushing over how great things are, and now you're like.
Well, I was expecting dominant performances from this football team. Look, we're winning football games. I'd rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss. And look, that's all that matters, is that we're winning football games.
Right.
But I kind of feel that this team has peaked too soon, and now we're starting to have the lingering effects of going through the season, where teams are finding the blueprint on how to attack this Eagles team offensively and defensively, and trying to find ways to limit their success and try to control them. We're still coming out on top.
Right.
But again, this is a bad Green Bay's Packer team. Aaron Rodgers is having career lows.
Right.
They're without Devontae Adams. This ain't an offense that has been excelling that has been a juggernaut like we've seen the last few seasons, where this team has been a Super Bowl contending team.
Right.
This was a 4-6 football team that was struggling, and we allowed them to stick around and win. And we only won the game by 7 points. We allowed them to put up 33 points on us the week before against Indianapolis Colts, a team where Matt Ryan, I think, had like 24 yards passing the week before or something. He had horrible numbers.
Right.
Or a couple weeks before that, or last week, whenever it was, they were able to control Jonathan Taylor, but he was still able to find success for the most part. He still was averaging, I think, like 4 yards a carry.
Right.
And they still allowed the Indianapolis Colts to stick around. Right. We got manhandled in our first loss against the Washington Commanders. Over the last 3 weeks of the season, or the last 3 weeks of this season so far,
right,
this is a team that has not shown you that they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and Vegas agrees. We were once the Super Bowl favorites as of like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We are now the third best when it comes to the odds. So if you're a gambling man and you honestly feel the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, go put some money out, because you have some great odds right now. But this is a team that I just honestly feels has peaked too soon, and I feel it's the lasting effects of they have some injuries now, which unfortunately, I don't know if people saw the news, but CJ, who's the NFL leader in interceptions, our starting safety, he's going to be out for an extended period of time with a lacerated kidney. They lost Jordan Davis for a few weeks, so that's definitely affected the run.
Jordan Davis is practicing.
He is practicing. There's a possibility he could return this week, which they're going to need going up against Derrick Henry. But what's really hurting this team is the loss of Dallas Goedert. The fact that they have that option, and Jalen Hurts' is security blanket, a guy that's having a career season, and the guy that can go one-on-one against a linebacker and beat them 9 times out of 10, and opens up things in the middle of the field, and opens things up for the rest of the offense. Where has AJ Brown been the last 3 weeks? I think he has combined like 88 yards, no touchdowns, and like 2 or 3 fumbles.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, he's a guy in his second year in the league, and he started off strong,
right?
But he hasn't really taken that next step, and I feel he's been he's been benefiting from the guys of like Goddard and A.J. Brown. And the fact that this Eagles offense has basically almost become one-dimensional, we're back to last year's Philadelphia Eagles where we didn't have a number one receiver and we didn't have that prolific passing offense, which is not the case this year. With the amount of weapons that we have, we should be dominant in the passing game. I feel we are just becoming more one-dimensional, and in the long run, especially in the playoffs, it's going to cost us.
I disagree with you. Here's my take of this. How many yards did we run for in that game?
Last week we ran for like 200 and something yards, and most of it by
I think it was like 300 something yards.
Yeah, it was 363 yards, 157
hold on.
by Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I get that, but you only do what the defense gives you. So when the defense tries to shut down that pass, you got that run option. So I don't know if we're looking at this fairly. I'm gonna have to ask Johnny about it. Johnny probably got all the stats, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure defenses are trying to shut down people like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And you're right, Goddard is a big loss. But I don't see it doom and gloom the way you see it. It's all game planning.
It's
more than mind you, the rush defense of last week's team
it's horrendous.
It's horrendous. Why wouldn't you run the ball?
I agree with you, but you still have to keep opponents.
But I agree with the fumbles and stuff.
You still have to keep opponents on edge. You still have to show them that you can make an attempt to throw the football or try to go deep. That's why the Eagles' offense was so great those years when we had D-Jack and Macklin, because we had that deep play threat, and Andy Reid found ways with play action to try to open things up.
Yo, Chris makes a good point. Chris makes a really
special
good point.
teams has been a shit show all year. There's no doubt about that.
So bad. Yeah.
But things are getting worse.
Like you mentioned all this bad stuff about the Eagles, but you didn't mention special teams
because that's been a weakness all year long.
I know. Well, let's talk about that.
So what I'm saying is it's been a weakness all year long, but we were still winning football games.
We're still winning football games.
Barely. Barely. But what I'm saying is, and look at the strength of the teams that we have played the last few weeks. Look, we're winning games, but once we start getting the playoffs, history is not on Philadelphia Eagles' side. The last 3 Super Bowl winning football teams, they weren't the number 1 seed. They weren't a team that people were expecting to win the Super Bowl. They were a 7-4 team that were in the mix of things and had a chance to make the playoffs. And they started excelling as the season progressed and towards the end of the year and got hot into the playoffs. That's what not just what football is about, but almost every sport's about. Yeah. Whoever team hot going to the playoffs is usually the team that comes out on top. And you
sound scared right now.
You have a right to be scared.
You sound scared right now.
This game this week, we'll get into it momentarily, but this game can make or break the Philadelphia Eagles season.
Y'all heard it here first.
The fact,
he said it.
Look, they're 10-1. They dropped this game to 10-2.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys are only basically 1 game out.
True.
And that Christmas Eve game becomes even more pivotal and even more huge and monstrous on both sides, because the Dallas Cowboys win that game.
Yeah.
Look, we were tied. You split the head-to-head tiebreaker, but it goes to the division. It goes to the division record, which the Dallas Cowboys right now
they would sit number 1. Then,
they would be number 1 because they only have one divisional loss.
So then we would win because we're the underdog at that point, based off of what you said right before you said that.
No, because we're a team. Because we're a team that has, like I said, has peaked too soon. They're a team that I
disagree with that.
And how can you disagree with that?
Listen,
what have you seen the last 3 weeks?
Listen, I agree with certain aspects of what you're trying to say. The turnovers, the flags, I get all that stuff. But we're getting into the cold weather now. This is the different part of the Russian war. When that snow fell, that's when things changed. Look it up. Evan, back me up on this one. But as soon as it gets cold, that running game is going to be way more important than you think. It's going to get to that point. And honestly,
it's not going to matter if we don't have the number 1 seed.
Oh, he's on here. What's up? What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I just showed his comment. He said, hi, Dad.
It just came up. He can vouch for me. When it got cold, that's when the Russian army won that war, I think, in World War II.
You try to spit facts, and then you don't even know if the facts are true.
Nah, it's true. Google that. But
the cold doesn't fucking matter if you don't have home field advantage, or you don't even win the division. Look, the Eagles schedule is very difficult down the stretch of the season. We have this week's game against a very good Tennessee Titans football team. We have the New York Giants, who are in in the mix of an NFC East divisional race as well as the wild card race.
Right.
You have the Dallas Cowboys, which has been a contending team this year and are right behind us in the division. You have the Giants again later on the season. Yeah, you have the Saints, but by that point, the game might not be even might not mean anything.
Might not, but it might though.
And you look at the Dallas Cowboys, their schedule over the next few weeks. They're facing the likes of the Indianapolis Colts. They're facing a lot of crappy football teams, which helps. They can help cushions them. And if we lose that Dallas game, we go from a number 1 seed, possible home field advantage, to a team that's going to be a 6, 7, or a 5 or a 6 seed, and be traveling on the road.
That's off of what you said. That would be the perfect opportunity for because you don't want to be the 10-1 first seed.
No, it's not that you don't want to be the 10-1.
Tell me I'm wrong. People
no, it's not that you don't want to be the 10-1 team. It's the team that's hot towards the end of the season. If this team continues to struggle over the next 4, 5, 6 weeks to the end of the season, you can't be optimistic with this football team at this moment. Is what I'm trying to get at.
So you can't be optimistic with a 10-1 football team going into next week. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
you are. Nothing satisfies you if that's the case. Like I get where you're coming from, and I get that there's a lot at stake and whatnot. But this team it's proven to persevere during certain things. Now, Washington, we literally beat ourselves that game. Washington did not beat us. We beat ourselves. That's facts, and we continue to beat ourselves. How many fumbles? Not completely.
We hurt ourselves, but the ending result wasn't just because we hurt ourselves, because we couldn't stop the run game, and we allowed Taylor Heineke to look like Joe Montana out there.
Yeah.
Which is on the players.
Even if that's the case, we still had opportunities to push ahead.
We had opportunities. What I'm saying,
down to the very last,
because they're not that great of a football team, but they're a team that's getting hot. They're a team that you have to possibly worry about in the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers, that's another team you possibly have to worry about.
I agree with that one. That's facts.
Right now, like your buddy Chris says, if you look at the standings, all 4 NFC East teams are, if the season ended today, which I don't see it happening towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because look, the last couple of weeks, divisional teams are all fighting it out. They're gonna get some losses on there. But right now, all 4 teams of the playoffs ended today would be in the playoffs.
And that scares you.
Doesn't scare me.
Well, I'm just saying, you sound scared.
What I'm saying is, this team might not be as great as we thought they were at the start, even though they're a 10-1 football team. You have to be realistic on what this team is team is starting to have struggles. They're a team that's starting to have lots of weaknesses. They're a team that has shown that when they have injuries, they don't have as much depth at key positions as you think.
Wait, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up to transition into what I want to talk about. How about Blankenship? What do you think about the Rook?
Well, he had a big interception, and then he got burned like a couple plays later.
Well, he's a rookie. I
agree, but he's got to make a major impact, especially since he's going to, believe to be the starter,
right?
And replace a CJ because, sorry, I don't trust Kayvon Wallace.
No, he shouldn't even be on the team at this point. And to be honest with you, I was a little, I don't know. I feel the same way you feel, but I don't think we should be scared, man. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? Not yet. But
do I believe that this team's gonna make the playoffs? Absolutely.
We better.
We better. Unless we go on a 6-game. Unless we go on a 6-game losing streak, we should definitely be in the playoffs. I'm not denying that this is not a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I don't know if this team is truly a Super Bowl contending football team, especially since for how tight the NFC is right now.
Yeah.
Grant, we have an opportunity to clinch a playoff berth this week. If I believe Washington loses, the 49ers, and someone else. There's 3 teams that have to lose, and that's the win for us to officially clinch a playoff spot, which if it doesn't happen this week, it's definitely happening next week. But once you get into the playoffs and you start going up against some of these better football teams, look, it happens every year with the top couple of seeds. Teams that have home field advantage, they get knocked out. They get knocked out in the first round. They don't even win a playoff game.
I see what you're saying. You're saying I just don't feel. Not yet. I'm not there yet. I feel like the play calling on the offense is getting better. The loss of Goddard hurts. The running game's still there, and we could put anyone there. It doesn't matter who we put back there. It's Boston Scott, if it's Sanders, etc. Like the way the running game's working right now, I feel like if the defense can hold up, and the defense hasn't been like terrible lately. It's just
No,
you know,
they've been bad.
I mean, the last game it wasn't great.
Last few weeks
throughout the
they've
whole
been bad,
year-
bro.
Yeah, but we're not.
They've
in the
been
top,
bad.
We're not in the bottom 10 or anything like
Well,
that.
because they've had such dominant start of the season, they haven't played as bad up to this point.
Okay.
But the fact that we're giving up, 150, 200 yards on the ground, it seems like, we're not getting those besides, I think, one last week, we aren't getting those big key takeaways that we saw. We're not getting as much pressure on the quarterback, especially when you have Taylor Heineke, who's basically almost a statue, and Matt Ryan.
Well, the team played hard behind Heineke, though. You're missing the intangibles. Like, I get what you're saying, but, like,
I don't care about intangibles. I care about results. I care about results. I don't want a moral.
Listen to Mr. CEO over here.
I don't want moral victories.
All right.
I want actual victories, which up to this point, that's what I say. Up to this point, the team has done.
Okay, well, cut them some fucking slack, bro.
But there's still a lot of concerns, and I feel that this offense, for how dynamic and how amazing they were to start the year, they're becoming way too one-dimensional, and it's out there on tape. I give Nick Sirianni a lot of credit. The fact that he's not becoming as too vanilla, or he's not having he's not too predictable on certain plays. Like, I think on that go-ahead touchdown against Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I forget which defensive player on the Colts, but he basically said, like, we didn't know that play was coming. Like, that was something that we did not see on tape, or something that we did not see on the playbook, or when we were analyzing going into the game. So look, Nick Sirianni, he's not keeping his offense, his plays the same every single week. He's throwing a lot of new stuff in there.
But Gannon is. Because you got the players. You got the guys that fill the spot. There's no way this should be happening. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the fact, like we brought up earlier, lack of depth. You know
what? Chris said something. He said something that was perfect. He said no team has depth.
Yeah, they do.
No, every NFL player.
I'm not saying every position teams have depth.
Right.
But when your strength of your defensive team is supposed to be your front four, and your offensive line, and you have a couple big injuries, and the guys coming in aren't stepping up, then yeah, I'll say it's a problem. I'm not.
There it is, right there.
Yeah,
you said we were gonna go 8-10.
Okay.
Right, 8-10, and you were happy with that.
And I don't think I said 8-10 because I had them making the playoffs. I think I had them going 10-8.
Okay, 10-8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
man,
I say go back to the tape and watch the tape again, bro.
You better look at it, Google it. Now, I agree with you. I just think you shouldn't be as scared as you are. And I think, first of all, Nick Sirianni.
I'm not scared. I'm just not getting overhyped with this football team that every single game the rest of the season that we should have a dominating victory.
Got you.
That's where I'm getting at. And look, I want to see how this team can perform down the stretch against better competition that we have had throughout the rest of the year. And look, again, I'm not criticizing. You only play who's on your schedule.
Right.
That's
right.
That's all you can do. But the fact that against inferior opponents and teams that we should be dominating the last few weeks, and we allowed them to stick around, and at some points we were losing this game.
I agree.
These games that we had to have a miraculous fourth quarter victory against Indianapolis.
Right.
Last week against the Green Bay Packers, we allowed them to put up 33 points for a team that was struggling all year long. And then 3 weeks ago, we lose to the Washington Commanders. With the team that was pretty banged up without Chase Young and a couple other players.
I agree. Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's fine.
Who's this Joseph dude? Eagles are going to dominate Tennessee. Look, let's get into that right now.
Hold on. Joseph.
I don't know.
Let's get into it because we haven't even talked about that. We're talking about all the bad things.
But look, yeah, it's a big game this week for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Titans, a team that lost last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that could contend in the AFC playoff race. But look, they're 7-4 under fifth-year head coach Mike Vrabel as the Eagles host them. They're 10-1, second-year head coach Nick Sirianni. And look, they're on paper, this is a team that, yeah, despite the record, the Eagles should have some success against, especially offensively. But look, the Tennessee Titans are a great rushing defense.
Yeah.
They're only allowing 84.5 yards a game, third best in the NFL. Their pass defense is atrocious. So look, I'm worried about the passing offense. If this is any game that we should have success against, and we don't, then this is really the time that you really should start worrying about this Eagles offense if they cannot find ways to torch and beat this Tennessee Titans defense through the air. But the big question is, can this Eagles defense control Derrick Henry?
No. No. Listen, honestly, if they're going to run the ball all game long, then if you're going to have to go pass heavy. So as they run the ball and kill the clock, you're going to have to pass. So let them kill the clock, pass the ball, use your weapons.
It's easier said than done, bro.
Well, yeah, I get that, but we've had those games where the receivers have opened up the game. So what all right, so you how many yards? What's the over under on Henry for this?
Dude, Derrick Henry's probably having at least 150 yards rushing this week.
Easy.
I believe so, yeah.
All right, you call
especially the way this Eagles rushing defense has played this season.
Yeah.
And look, Ryan Tannehill, he's not anyone that he's not a gunslinger. He's a guy that he has. If you get in his face and get pressure on him,
right,
he's a guy that can turn over the football. But
he'll pick you apart.
He can.
If you go, I see what I was just adding on.
But I feel that this game, I feel AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder here.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a revenge game for AJ Brown going against his former team.
Absolutely.
A team that wouldn't give him the big contract. The team that he has played for his entire career up until this point, and they didn't want to extend it. He wanted to be a Tennessee Titan for life, but he wanted to get paid. And they tried to go cheap, and they drafted a rookie, I think Burks his name is, who's having a decent season. He's a guy that has played well up to this point, but he's going up against two quality cornerbacks with James Bradbury and Darius Slay.
Right. Yeah, I agree. What are you most afraid of? I'm saying, say they lose the game. Are you just like out now at that point?
I'm not out. Look, again, this is still a playoff team, but
right,
they go from a favorite in the NFC to the middle of the pack.
That's a good point.
Especially, and that Dallas Cowboys game becomes even more astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you somehow lose to the New York Giants. There you go. You have 3 losses right there. The Dallas Cowboys have 3 losses if they don't lose any more games up until that point.
Right.
And then basically that game helps. I don't say decides the NFC East, but it's going to help trend in the direction on where both those teams and the New York Giants are going. Because if the Eagles lose to the Giants, they're back in the thick of things. Then we have 2 losses in the division. Look, the next.
That's it, everyone. Pack it up.
The next 4 weeks.
Right now.
I'll say it again. The next 4 weeks for this football team determines and will show us where this team actually is.
Okay. That's a fair enough statement.
I'm just tired of hearing sports talk radio or some of our commenters basically.
Some of our commenters.
I'm sorry. I love the comments, but look, you have to look at this football team as a whole and not wear the rose-colored glasses and think that this team has no issues or that these next 4 weeks are going to be dominant winning performances. Do the Eagles have a chance to win these football games? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm not saying that this team has no chance. They have a 0% chance to win these next few weeks. But what I'm getting at is that they're playing against better competition over the next month and a half that will make or break where this team falls in the NFC playoff race. That's what I'm fucking getting at. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but you have to realistically look.
Oh, there goes that light.
Yeah, you're not going with the fucking light.
There goes that light.
Yeah, you're not going with the fucking light. Now
you over here, WrestleMania.
Now you look even darker on fucking camera.
Oh, y'all heard that first.
Well, no. Every show he come in, he's like, "Oh, I look too dark on camera. I need these lights."
I don't say any of that. He just made that all up. Listen in the comments below. I agree with you, but I just think, honestly, you're just being a little too tough on a 10-1 football team, man.
If we were blowing out, or if we were running away with the
it's the NFL, though, man. Do you seen bad teams beat good teams?
Exactly.
All year long.
Exactly, and that's what possibly could happen in the fucking
playoffs. Not 10 times. Maybe like 3, 4.
Look,
I like that you stopped for a second too because you called.
No, you guys are making it seem like I'm making this team to be the fucking Houston Texans or the Cleveland Browns, or not even Cleveland Browns. They're actually in the playoff race.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, watch your mouth.
You're making me think like this team's the fucking Houston Texans and that this team should not be a 10-win football team. I'm not saying that.
Sounds like
what
that.
I'm saying is they are not running away with this fucking division. They are not running away with this fucking conference. This thing is tighter than fucking ever. So every game matters, and now they're playing against better opponents, and this team has struggled over the last 3-4 weeks to really show us that this team it's not as good as everyone is making them out to be.
I know,
That's what I'm getting
crazy. I know that's crazy. They're not as good as they won 10 games. They're not that great. They accidentally beat the Minnesota Vikings, who are trash.
That was
and
week
the Dallas
two.
Cowboys,
And
who are trash and had a backup. And you sound like everyone that is listening to tonight's show, please watch last week or the last show we did because it's a total 180.
We did a show.
Total 180.
We did a show almost a fucking month ago, bro.
Last week he was like, "Oh my God, Super Bowl!" Boom,
Was it
light
last
falls
week?
What was it? Was it?
It was almost a
2
month
weeks ago.
It was almost a month ago, bro.
Damn, we are lazy motherfuckers. You know that?
We had Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We had the pregame show, I think, in there.
Mhm.
Like, look,
Mhm.
and
We lazy.
I'm lazy.
Well, I'm lazy too.
But look, it's gonna come down to stopping Derrick Henry because look,
I agree.
the game plan. If you can stop Derrick Henry and force the quarterback to try to beat you second, third, and long, I don't see the Tennessee Titans being able to do that. Their offense and their focal point is around Derrick Henry, and if he has success, they're going to have success, and it could be a long day for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the question is, this offense. They've been struggling, but they still find ways to put up points. They put up 40 points last week against the Green Bay Packer team, and they're going against not a great passing defense for the Tennessee Titans. So I feel the Eagles' offense should have success, and I feel it's going to be a close game.
Okay. What's your score?
Oh, we're throwing out predictions already?
Well, you fucking said it. I feel like it's going to be a close game. We'll save that for later. Yo.
Well, no. You have any thoughts? Who do you think is the difference maker in Sunday's matchup?
Who do I think is the
on either side? Offense, defense, Titans, Eagles. Who besides Derrick Henry? Because we know he's going to make or break this game.
I'll do offense and defense.
Go ahead.
On defense, I'm going to say Suh is going to do it. Suh. And on offense, honestly, it's going to be the quarterback, man. Hurts is going to do it. Hurts is going to make it happen. Like that's what I think last week instilled something in Hurts where he realizes like if it's third and short. Don't even take the chance of someone getting injured or anything else. He'll take the 3 slide. We're good.
Well, no, I think the problem is our wide receivers aren't getting open.
Well,
that's it's because it's the Dallas Goedert effect. We are really missing Dallas Goedert.
The Goedert effect. We should get a shirt.
We should have Johnny make a shirt up for that.
Johnny, the Goedert effect, and shoot that to Goedert too. See if he's on.
But look. Teams are not defending the middle of the field because look, Jack Stoll. Who else do we have playing at fucking tight end? Our tight ends are so bad right now that some players it was reported that some players were trying to get Gronk out of retirement to come here for a playoff run.
I'll take Gronk.
I would too.
He'll never come here though.
He'll never come here. No doubt about it.
Here.
But it's the one positive thing though that look, this is an organization and a team that a lot of players on the outside are looking at and are believing in. Because look, Ndamukong Suh. He said the reason Sue.
That's how my son said.
Oh, okay. The reason that he came to the city of Philadelphia is because he believes that this team is a Super Bowl contending football team, and the reason he wants to win their Super Bowl it was a touching and funny story.
Right.
But he just had the birth of his second son, I think this year or last year, and here he has 1 Super Bowl ring. He doesn't have to risk that. He doesn't have to worry about them splitting it. So he wants a second one to try to have 2 rings to give 1 to each of his sons.
Oh.
So a little heartfelt story. Otherwise, sell that shit and make some money off of that. Give it to his kid that way.
We sell out. So I'm telling you seriously, if the Illuminati's watching right now, birds, beers, and bullshit, we are guys. But yeah, I agree with you. I listen. I think it's going to be all right. I think honestly, Hurts is going to connect with the wide receivers. We're going to be fine. Can the defense stop Henry? Nah, but I think we'll slow him down enough to make it a game.
I don't say we're gonna slow him down at all.
Game plan, man. Game plan.
We could put fucking 9 guys in the box, and we still won't be able to stop fucking Derrick Henry. Have you seen the shoddy tackling that we have had from this defense over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks?
It's been bad.
Wait till a monster fucking Derrick Henry goes goddamn beast mode on our freaking defense.
I hope not.
He's going to, bro. He's gonna get his carries. He's gonna get his yards. It's trying to make Tannehill force those mistakes on Tannehill. But we need a big turnover. We need a big interception. We need those big game-breaking plays that this defense has given us all year long. Because look, I'm all for the Jim Johnson method and the Jim Johnson effect. Yeah, bend, don't break, and get turnovers. Win the turnover battle, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna win football games. And That's honestly, even though we're winning these games, that has been the difference over the last few weeks. Defensively, we're not getting the big key turnovers as much as we were in the beginning of the season. The offense has been making mistakes and turning the football over too. So look, if we limit those mistakes and limit those problems, we have a chance to win almost any game the rest of the year. But these are still tough opponents. If you give your opponents those opportunities, they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. This is a team that's not taking advantage of those mistakes, especially points off turnovers. This was a team that was top 2, top 3 in the NFL and points off of turnovers.
Yeah.
When it came to scoring points with the short field. And I agree. Look, no one is doubting Jalen Hurts. Oh, yeah, you have to talk about Hurts' leadership. The man has it. No doubt about it. And right now, everyone is on the same page. It's not if Jalen Hurts should get a contract. It's when Jalen Hurts will get that extending contract. And he's definitely been a very positive person.
He's been a leader.
Very positive player for this Eagles team and going forward in the future.
Right.
But again, and it's not Hurts' fault, I'm not saying, we need more out of this offense. We need more out of the wide receivers. We need better game planning. So that I think it was last week or the week before, that 4th down call where they got stopped short.
Twice.
Yeah. So
Twice. And they fumbled.
Look, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And 1 week Jalen Hurts plays bad, the rest of the team needs to pick him up. When the rest of the team plays bad, Jalen Hurts picks him up. The coaching needs to be better. It's a team affair. That's what's great about football.
I agree.
Football is a team where it's not just one person makes or breaks the football team. And look, we're still finally the football game, and that's definitely a positive thing. The fact that, look, we're not blowing people every single week. They're finding ways to win the close ones, and that's the difference between good and great football teams.
Right.
The fact that they can still come out on top in those close matchups in critical moments, but it's still this team still has its flaws and still has its issues, and they have to fix them up heading into the playoffs. It's basically where I'm trying to get at.
Agreed. Oh, there's no light to fall down. Agreed.
Yeah, Joe. No one's denying that Hurts is the main reason we are winning. Look,
Joe, you're right.
He's a guy that, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes probably breaking the single season passing record this season, Jalen Hurts is definitely top 2, top 3 MVP at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Look, he's young too.
He's definitely young
guy. Do you think he's when we have to sign him? That's a good that should be a game like Hurts. And then we'll have names up there. Like we have to eliminate at least 2 or 3 names from that list in order to afford Hurts. Who would be like the two guys that you think are really good that need to go because of this contract?
It's Hallie's gonna have to work his magic because there's already eyes that they want to extend CJ GJ, which after this injury, this isn't an injury that should be lingering. Look, this was a freak thing. They want to definitely extend him. They want to shore up the safety position. James Bradbury is definitely a guy that I want to see back for how well he has been playing. Right. You have those sure dominant shutdown corners on both sides because we've been missing that guy for quite some time opposite Darius Slay the last couple of seasons.
Right.
And then you draft someone maybe this year or next year that can play behind them and let them sit there, try to groom them to be the next starter once you move on from Darius Slay or Bradbury.
You got to pick a name. Kaiser White?
He might be.
Son Reddick?
Reddick
is Reddick signed?
Reddick, I think, is signed for a couple of years. I think his is a 2 or 3 year deal. But yeah, Kaiser might be. He won't get paid. This was a proven season for him, and he's played well.
Yeah.
And we know how much the Philadelphia Eagles don't value the linebacker position. And
Cox is out.
And right now the Eagles they don't have abundance of money to extend all these guys. That's the one problem, and that's why this season it's make or break for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's very difficult. Look, we haven't been back to the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl almost 6 years ago. We haven't been back since.
6 years.
We haven't been back since. We made the playoffs, but we haven't been back to even the conference championship game since the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it just shows, like you said, the NFL year in and year out. There's always a new contending team. There's always a new team that is fighting for. And that's what's great about the NFL. It's not like the NBA where it's every single year the same few teams are always in the championship or expected to win the NBA championship game. Agreed. Super Bowl year last year the Rams win it. This year the Rams are not even going to fucking make the playoffs.
No, they're trash.
So look, that's why this season there's going to be a lot of turnover. There's going to be a lot of new faces next season. Howie's going to have his hands full on trying to rebuild his team to be back into a contending football team, which I hate to admit it. I have faith in him.
Okay.
He has done
you
well.
hate to admit it?
He's done the last 4 or 5 seasons. He's still found ways to find the right players. And, yeah, he's had some mistakes, but what GM hasn't had mistakes? He's still found ways to have his team be a contending football team and making the playoffs and finding ways to give us hope. Last year was the first year that we missed the playoffs. Last year.
Last year we made the playoffs.
Two years ago. It was Doug Peterson's last year where Doug Peterson couldn't even he couldn't even throw a game properly. Everyone knew he was taking that game for a better draft pick.
I agree. I 100% agree. Chris, you make a good point. Yeah, you still have Nakobe Dean.
The Duke can't even get on the field.
Well, that's because he doesn't need to be on the field.
The Duke can't even play special teams.
Why would you put him on special teams?
He is on special teams, and he's not making a goddamn play.
I don't know. I disagree with that.
What do you mean
I disagree. Well,
he's going to be the next Kayvon Wallace. The fact that
wow.
He's a guy that everyone's going to be overhyping year in and year out, and he's not going to produce. I
don't believe that.
The fact that we can't even get him on the field.
Well, we don't need him on the field.
It doesn't matter.
He's a rookie. We don't need him on the field.
There's certain situations. Look, the Eagles are all about rotation. The Eagles are always all about their different packages.
Okay.
But the amount of speed that he has,
mm-hmm.
You would think he would be more on some of these passing downs and going up against the tight end. Because he has that speed, he can stick with a lot of these speedy.
But he's undersized, though. So
okay.
You take a year, get his weight up.
That doesn't, dude, he's not going
to.
He's not going to grow 10 inches over a goddamn night.
Yeah, have you seen these NFL players? That can happen, man.
Not height.
Yo, I'd like to thank everyone in the comment section because honestly, I don't know why you guys watch us. We suck.
Chris, that's a bullshit comment. He's not a special team guy. These guys are meant to play year in and year. Look, week in and week out. You need. If he can't play special teams, he doesn't deserve to be on the fucking roster. Even it was brought up this week that look, the special teams are so bad that there might be certain situations where they're putting in starters, taking reps from guys like Nakobe Dean and from some of these later tier guys because they're not getting the job done. If you can't play special teams, how the hell can you play fucking linebacker?
Well, whoever runs special teams don't know what they're doing anyway.
Well, they don't.
Obviously.
Go tell that to fucking Jeremiah Trotter, who we signed in 2004 off the fucking street. Told him he wasn't even going to be a starter to start the season. He went out there and played special teams, busted his fucking ass, laid out Jeff Fiegels week 1 and knocked him out. And Mark Sano was so bad at goddamn linebacker that he went in there and made a fucking improvement.
The X-Men is a different breed, though.
But it was towards the end of it. It was towards the middle end of his prime where he was coming off a major goddamn knee surgery, and he still made the Pro Bowl starting only goddamn 7 games.
Yo, someone tweet this to Jeremiah Trotter. Yo, I agree and I disagree. We have agreements and
disagreements. I agree, Joe. We need Dean. I hope he comes in here and makes an impact. But so far this season, if I'm giving an award for most disappointing player so far, everyone wants to throw out Jordan Davis as a fucking bust.
I don't agree with that.
Dude, fucking Nakobe Dean he can't even get on the field for a guy that was a 3rd-round pick, and that's what makes or breaks NFL rosters. Yes, you can find diamonds in the rough in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, and the Eagles have done a great job with that in years past.
Right.
But it's always 1st, 2nd, and 3rd-round picks. You want immediate impact from those players in their rookie seasons. You want them to find ways.
Not a 3rd-round pick, though.
Yeah, 3rd round. First
depends on what you draft in the 3rd round. If you draft a quarterback in the 3rd round, does he start?
That's a little bit different story.
How about a cornerback?
Yeah.
Really?
Depends. It depends on your current situation. And a lot of people going into the season expecting Nakobe Dean to be a starter or a heavy contributor on this defense. And the fact that he can't get on the field, that is telling you something about, I don't know if he just coaching player. He's not adjusting from college to the NFL. He's not picking up the playbook well. Something is up there. I'm not going to call this guy a bust just yet. But look, he has till next year to show us that he can get on the football field because we're going to have a gaping hole possibly at linebacker because I think TJ Edwards is also up for a contract as well.
I think he gets signed.
TJ, you have to bring back.
I think he gets signed. See? Look at that. It's like therapy here. We all yell and scream, and then by the end of it, we're
Joseph, thank you for watching. Thanks for the kind words. And yeah, our special teams coach sucks, but you also have to give him the right players. Look, he's not the guy making the ultimate decision. The head coach, Nick Sirianni, is the one that's telling you what players to put out there. It's the special teams coach telling the players how to execute it. And if he's not, same thing for Jonathan Gannon. He wants to throw Jonathan Gannon and says that he needs to be fired. If he's not given the right personnel,
all right,
it's not going to matter.
Hold on. Okay, all right. You're just trying to make. Okay.
I'm trying to make a point.
Gotcha.
If you're not giving the right personnel, how's he going to succeed? It's the same thing.
Special teams is basically like everyone else.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
But the NFL has transitioned very. How do I word this? This ain't the NFL anymore. You don't have designated spots for special team like before. For the longest time, the Eagles.
You can.
Besides kicker and punter.
Right.
But I'm saying
punt returner.
I'm saying you expect to have a punt return, but a lot of teams don't. A lot of teams, they use someone that's on their roster because they want it. It's a numbers game. When it comes to breaking down the rosters each year and year out, it's a numbers game. They want to try to keep more of the depth at the wide receiver position. So that's why a guy that
like the money goes to offense, defense, and whatever's left over goes to
like Covey. Covey, look, just because he has speed. At the wide receiver position, they wanted to keep him, and so they throw him at fucking special teams. They expect him to be a goddamn punt and kick returner.
He sucks.
He does.
What about Sproles? Sproles said he was available. Cut Covey, pay Sproles that money. Like, there's ways of doing this, and I feel like we're not even trying to do anything about the special teams. It's like the neglected child. It's like the one that should have been aborted, and that was dark. And
don't even continue that. But look. We're going on 45 minutes again. We appreciate everyone for tuning in, leaving your comments. Chris, Joseph, my wife, Evan, thank you for everyone for tuning in. We'll give you our game predictions. So, look, big game for Sunday. Eagles 10-1 need this win to stay in the NFC East and the NFC playoff race, to stay atop of both of those standings. And then you have the Tennessee Titans, who are coming off a disappointing loss, a devastating loss, I should say, to the Cincinnati Bengals last week, and they want to get off the schneid and and win one this week on the road in the city of Philadelphia. So, Peanut, give us your game prediction for Sunday.
33-27 Eagles, and I think the it's not going to be as close as people think. I honestly think the Eagles.
You don't think it's going to be as close? You just had a six-score game.
What I'm saying is,
or 6-point game.
It's going to be like garbage time points.
I got you.
So.
As much as I want the Philadelphia Eagles to win this football game, I'm going to have to go the other side.
You're going to Titans.
I'm going to have the Tennessee Titans win this one by a field goal. I'm going to say 31-28 Tennessee Titans on a last-second field goal to win this football game, unfortunately.
Wow.
And it just makes the game against the New York Giants. Again, Sunday, December 11th, we'll be live at Doan Distillery in Quakertown. Come on out for the pregame show. 12 noon start, 1 o'clock kickoff, getting you ready for the Eagles-Giants game and a pivotal NFC East matchup. So, again, save the date. We'll plug there. But, yeah. I have the Philadelphia Eagles losing this one.
Hey.
I just the way that this defense has played against the run, I feel the Tennessee Titans are going to play old-fashioned smash mouth football and try to run out that clock, wear down the Eagles defense, attack them with Derrick Henry in the run game. Maybe a few plays from the quarterback to pick up some second, third, and first downs on second and third down, extending those drives and wearing them down. And this Tennessee Titans defense has played well all season long. That's gonna make or break this game. Can the Philadelphia Eagles have the success on the ground that they have had the last few weeks? Because this Tennessee Titans defense, they're stingy. Yeah. They don't give up a lot of yards. They don't give up a lot of plays. And I see them finding ways to try to limit Jalen Hurts on the ground, which the last few weeks teams have not, and controlling Miles Sanders. And they're going to try to force this Eagles passing game that has struggled the last few weeks without Dallas Goedert, try to beat them through the air.
Oh, well, hey. It's like completely opposite of what I said, but whatever.
It is, but look, one of us will be right. Either it'll be me or it'll be Peanut.
I hope it's me.
I hope it's you as well. But again, I'm a realistic fan. I have to go in there with a level head, and I can't play with my heart. I can't play with my fandom. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I bleed green, but look. You have to look at the matchups. You have to look at the tape. You have to look at how these teams compare and go up against one another. And right now,
the matchup's pretty bad.
I feel it's gonna be. That's why I have it a 3-point game. I feel these teams are somewhat even, but I've kind of had to just give the edge the way the Philadelphia Eagles have played the last few weeks until they prove me wrong and they can show me that this could be a dynamic offense again, an offense that can beat you both ways, and a defense that can find the ways to limit their opponent. on the ground and through the air and not give up as many points.
Yeah.
Until they can prove me wrong, especially like I brought up before, the next month and a half, it's going to make or break this Philadelphia Eagles team.
You heard it here first, y'all. Birds, Beers, and BS.
But again, thank you for everyone for tuning in to another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS on the AAT Sports Network. We will have no show next week, next Thursday, no show, because we, again, will be live at Doan Distillery in Quakertown, Sunday, December 11th, 12 o'clock start, getting you ready for the Eagles-Giants NFC East matchup.
Come out.
But yeah, definitely come out. There'll be giveaways. There'll be some specials. So again, check out their list at doandistillery.com. I'd like to also thank our friends at Stuffs of the Grills in Allentown. You can order by calling 484-274-6760 or visit stuffsofthegrills.com for a full menu and specials. Again, they're also available for catering orders as well. I'd like to thank our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant in Allentown. Order takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or vinnyspizzapa.com. Check out their daily and game day specials as well. And they're also available for catering orders. So if you need some pizzas, you need some lasagna trays, whatever it may be, holidays parties are coming up. So again, make sure to support our sponsors, Vinny's and Stuff to the Grills. I'd like to thank our friends at Statement Games for a fun free twist on fantasy sports. StatementGames.com. Free to enter, free to play, chance to win some great prizes and more. Again, StatementGames.com. And then support the network. Look,
yeah, please.
We appreciate everyone that tunes in. Another way you can help support the network, not only supporting our sponsors, sharing us out, subscribing, follow, liking, subscribing all our social media platforms, send it to a friend. But it's also, we have some great gear. We have atsportsnetwork.com/shop. We have some great gear from all our shows here on the network, and some other great designs. Johnny does a great job coming up with different designs and different shirts for you. If you have an idea or a shirt that you might want, message one of the pages or message me. I can forward it, try to get your shirt available to you. A lot of great merchandise there from all our shows at atsportsnetwork.com/shop.
Yeah.
Again, no show next week. We'll be back Sunday, December the 11th at Doan Distillery, and we hope to see you out there. But if not, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Evan, my wife, Chris, Tupi, Joseph. Again, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Great show as always. Hope everyone's having a safe and happy holidays. We don't speak to you then.
Yeah.
And as we end every show here on Birds, Beers, and BS, as Peanut's about to chug them, drink them if you got them.
Drink 'em if you got 'em.
Later, people.